I like the way this feel. Yeah. Let my soul cry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Minister. We gonna speak from the heart on this one. I'm performing lyrical funerals, no obituary. I killed your boy and brought him back to life. Pet cemetery. My anointing not based on attendance at a seminary. Scarlet witches, they attracted to the visionary. Everywhere I go, I bring the word with me, missionary. Soldier drafted in the war machine, military. Pay attention, what I'm saying to you, legendary. You got the demeanor of a front desk secretary. That mean you take the calls, but you don't make the calls. That's why you hate, cause ain't nothing fake about me at all. Now I dare you try to say that with a straight face. My delivery in tip-top great shape. I'm too advanced for you, light years, space age. No evolution for you cavemen, stone age. I'm a thoroughbred, rock solid. I came from the bottom to the top, rock climbing. I grew up in the hood, pros and cons. That's that full court pressure when the ambulance roll out the stretch. Why can't you see it's not logical if you live diabolical? Boy, your point of view smaller than the hair follicle molecule. This for all of them that follow you, smoking all of them barbecue. When I pull up, your voice on correct itself with no auto-tune. I got a whole nother level that I can enter whenever I gotta deal with the devil. I pick a whole nother method. I hear a whole lot of yapping. They wanna see my reaction. I'm really out here in the community making it happen. I don't really think they understand the dilemma. They ain't looking at the man in the mirror. Can't say it any clearer. The plan is very simple. It's time to start playing in the temple. Before somebody come and put the can on your temple. Reaching like a baby with his hand for the nipple. The Grand Reaper coming with his hand on the sickle. Hit the van coming with a ram with the van coming get him. I am so glad that I changed up. Made it out of where I came from. Watch for the sliding hook of the slow ball, fastball, and that change up. That ghetto lifestyle, it changed us. Go back to visit, it ain't changed much. Only difference is now the way that my brain process information. And Satan, been after my license day one. Let me say something. Only reason that I'm still alive today because God's grace is amazing. Just another raisin in the sun. Dream deferred when things occur. Now you getting served right on the curb like a lemonade stand. I just gave you the benediction, let the whole church say amen.
Peace, peace, peace. What it is, your brother Tavon Sueno, aka the Orthodox Moor, wishing you all peace and blessings. And today, very interesting conversation. I have a lot of Christian brothers and sisters who are sincerely concerned for my soul, and I appreciate that because they hear that I take from the Quran and whatnot, and also the Bible, and they feel that conflicts, and that if I accept the Quran, I must reject the Christ of the Bible, etc. And so when typically people have that concern, I like to hear them out, right? Because they may have a point. A lot of times people aren't familiar with my methodology and how I use the Quran, etc. So I take no issues with their coming at me or being concerned or any accusations made, etc., 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 whatnot, because I hold a very minority view within the world of people who accept the Quran and whatnot. So with that being said, on the panel in the back is good brother Roger Sherman, who has for a long time been one of these Christians concerned about my soul and whatnot. And so I'm allowed to brother to come on and speak his piece because he believes that I can't accept the Quran and also accept the Christ of the Bible, etc. So we're going to let him come on and give his reasoning as to why. So without further ado, peace and blessing to you, brother man.
Yeah, how you doing?
All is well. I cannot complain. How about yourself?
Yeah, Yeah, I can't complain either. Can't complain either. Long time overdue.
Yeah,
But
no worries.
yeah. So I want to have a conversation with you because I think both they contradict. That I believe the Quran and the Bible they contradict each other. Um, and so first off, before I even kind of jump into why I believe you can't believe in the Quran and the Bible, tell
Hmm.
me why you believe that you can't.
Oh, that's going to be a long, 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 long intro if I do that.
Well,
And
can you give me the short version?
I was going to say, to be fair, I have many of those videos on my channel.
Hmm.
And to be fair, I didn't come to you saying that like you need to accept the Quran, blah, 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 blah. I don't make claims like that, right? So you came to me saying that I can't
Hmm.
have Christ if I accept the Quran, right? So
No, you
that's a
can't.
positive claim coming from your side. So I'd appreciate it if we can start with your reasoning as to why that is, and then it makes more sense for me to respond to that with my reasoning. If that makes sense.
Okay, so let me ask a couple questions then.
Shoot,
Right. Okay.
I'll give you
Does the
three. How
Quran?
about that to start
Okay.
off with?
Okay. Okay. Sure. Let me ask you this: does the Quran? Do they believe that Christ was just simply a prophet?
The Quran is not a person, right? The Quran is a book. And so
Okay.
different
So
people,
the
no, I'm just going to clarify the
uh,
question, to clarify the answer. So different people read the book differently, right?
okay.
For us to have a fair conversation, what I don't want to have happen is to me to be limited by other people's claims. So I'm gonna rightfully speak on what other people believe and also what I believe,
Okay.
right? So the Sunni and
Okay.
Shia
Sure.
and all like etc. like that, most of them, the most average Orthodox Muslims that read the Quran, they only see Christ as a person or a prophet when they read that. Me, I
Mhm.
see a lot more when I read that.
Okay. Yeah. So tell me what you believe about Christ.
No, again, you came on with the positive claim, right?
Listen,
So
listen to me. Hold on, before we get,
mhm,
because my thing is this, right?
mhm,
Um, I want to get real specific with it because I don't want to make this. So I'm giving you the chance to answer because
mhm,
typically I can speak broadly about and I want to speak specifically to you
mhm,
because I know what broad Muslims believe. I mean,
mhm,
and some of them, like you said, it may differ,
mhm.
right? I want to speak to what Moore believes about Christ
Okay.
because it doesn't matter what they believe. It matters what more because I'm speaking to more. I'm not talking to the whole Muslim world. I'm talking to
That's
you.
facts, and I respect that. Can I ask you
Yeah,
a simple question so I can clarify?
yeah, sure, sure.
So, what have I ever said that made you come to me and tell me I already didn't have Christ?
Because so again, the simple belief that the Quran and the Bible are compatible to me, I believe that's enough
Okay.
to tell me that either you reading the Bible out of context or there's something that's making you believe that the two can mesh and it can't.
Okay. So let's just start there. Obviously, I believe the two can go together. So use that as a baseline.
Okay.
Use that as your baseline and break down to me like your whole premise again, because to be clear, you've already come to me multiple times and made the positive claim that I don't have Christ because I have the Quran. So I shouldn't have to explain
Okay.
any more than that. You should be able to explain to me why
So
I don't
so
have
no
Christ.
no not really storm. That's why we having a conversation, right? Because I don't want to have this back and forth. I want to get to the nitty gritty of it. You're telling me
Uh-huh.
that you can believe the Quran and the Bible, and you just said that you have a minority view,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what I would like to know is your minority view, right?
That's
Because
what I'm
your
asking.
view is not okay, listen, because you saying your view is not mainstream, correct?
You're 100%.
So I would like to know your view because typically, because like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm speaking broadly, right? Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
speaking to Muslim like Islam proper. That don't go with it. Like they butt heads,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I would like to know your view. If you could put it in a couple sentences and tell me why do you believe that the Quran and I can give you my reasoning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really quick, because I believe that Islam makes a claim that's blasphemous. Right. Some Muslims believe that Muhammad was the comforter that was predicted in the New Testament. That's blasphemous. That's the Holy Spirit, right? Um, they that's one reason why they can't mesh, right? To believe that Christ was simply a prophet, that's another reason why they can't mesh, because he's much more than a prophet. Now you say that you believe he's much more than a prophet, and I want to know your position.
That's beautiful. But so we need to be clear about the chronology of this, right? So when you
Okay, cool.
saw me and you contacted me, you didn't say, why is it that you believe these things can go together? You made the positive claim that they can't, and I don't have Christ. That wasn't a question. That was a declarative statement, right? So,
So prove me wrong,
so I
and
don't have
that's all I'm
I
asking
don't
you to
have to
do.
prove anything. You made the claim.
Yes. So here's the thing, more right? Because this is I'm not going. What I don't want to do is just go back and forth. We
Right.
know what the claim is. What I'm asking you for is
No,
your
we don't know what the
position.
claim is. That's the whole point.
Okay. So I'm claiming that because you have a minority view, and you just said this. Tell me your minority view.
No,
That
that's
majority.
no. You don't get the
So
claim. Tell me. You don't get the
okay.
claim.
So
Tell me.
no one's claiming. I'm asking you to tell me your minority view,
Right, and
right?
you can
Because
keep
this.
asking me, and
Listen
like
to me
I've
more,
said,
right?
bro, check this out.
I'm not gonna play no childish games with you. I'm asking you a very,
You're
very
already playing the
direct
game,
question, and you're running around.
No, I'm not,
You running around from the question more.
bro. We're not gonna do this. I'm not running from a question. I literally told you at the beginning of this. I'll answer that question after you give me your reasoning. So it's this simple. You say you don't believe the Bible and Quran can mesh. I need you to list your reasons as to why, and then I'll address every one of those reasons.
So again, because you're playing the game more. I just gave you several reasons why
Are
I
those your only two
believe.
reasons?
Okay, so again, right? I gave you several reasons why I believe Islam proper, right? It's not compatible with the Bible. Now I want to speak to more.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that you hold a minority a view that most Muslims may not even claim to, or may not claim, right?
Mm-hmm.
So before I jump out the window and bump my head, I want to know what is Moore's position, right? Because I know that ain't never gonna come. That's never going to be compatible with the scriptures.
Uh-huh.
So I want you to tell me, right, what your position is, and we can have a discussion.
So
Right. I've already
my
told you
basic
that.
position is
Okay.
that the Bible and
Okay.
Quran are not incompatible, of which you've already
Okay.
come to me prior to and claimed that they are incompatible, and I can't have
Okay.
Christ because they're incompatible. So what I need
Okay.
you to do, and again, I'm going to address every point that you put down, right? I'm not answering any questions until you list to me how
Okay.
you're
So
saying the Bible and the
again,
Quran can't go together. That's all I'm asking for you, bro. It's very simple.
so again, it's for one, the reason why I'm asking these questions, right? Because I want to get a baseline. I don't know if you're intentionally being vague with me, which is to me it's
Yes,
deceptive.
100%.
So again, that's deception. It's
No, it's not.
and but it
It's not deception because I literally told you, one, I have a minority view. Two, I will answer every point that you have. Three, you didn't know about any of my views before you came to me and made a positive claim. So if you're not going to list your positive claim, I don't have to answer anything, bro. I didn't come to you making any claims. Do you understand the burden of proof and how that works?
uh,
Do you understand the concept of burden of proof? Brother Sherman, do you understand the concept of burden of proof?
yeah, give me 1 second. All right.
No worries. Take your time.
Sorry about that. I was talking to a nurse practitioner. So here's what I'm saying, right? Um,
Did you hear
I've
my
already
question?
given. Yeah, stated one more time. I was talking to the nurse
Do you
practitioner.
understand the concept of the burden of proof, or what burden of proof is?
So, so yeah, right. I understand exactly what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that you understand what I'm trying to say though. Or you are intentionally being vague and not listing your position, right? And here's my problem, right? Because I've already told you, because I can argue against many, I can give you many reasons why I don't agree with Muslim or Islam proper or whatever, why I don't think it can compare with the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm asking you specifically about your position, right? I want to get a baseline of where you at, what you believe. So then I can tell you, okay, this is why I don't believe it fits, right? You're intentionally not telling me your minority position,
Why is that?
and you're saying it's because I've already made the claim that you're not
Mm-hmm.
safe because you believe it, right? Right. I do not believe Muhammad was a prophet in any shape or form.
Okay. Oh. Okay, he dropped off. I didn't put him out for him. That's his connection. Waiting for him to come back.
Religion that was forced on.
There you go.
So, so truthfully, I believe that it's a false religion. Right now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if because you are more you NOI you Islam proper. Like what is it?
So I find this fascinating that you've made this positive claim and have no
Okay, so
idea
again,
like
more
what I
like
believe.
again, just answer the question, bro. We don't got to go this back and forth. Just answer the questions. We having a conversation now, right? Let's have the conversation now, right? Because what I'm not going to do is just keep going this back and forth, this circular conversation, which when you're intentionally being vague to not answer the questions.
Can you read the comment on the screen?
Yeah, it says, "Can Mr. Sherman take back that claim?" And then maybe the conversation can. Do you want me to take back the claim that you're not saved? Is that what they're asking?
If you want to have a like an open dialogue, I would appreciate the removal of the claim. If you want to,
Okay, yeah, I can take
have a
it back.
situation to where like if you want it to where you can ask me questions in open dialogue, yeah, that's got to happen. If it's gonna be like anything other than that, bro, like no, we got to get these questions.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah, that's no problem. I can take that back because I don't want to offend you anyway. Like, trust me, that ain't my heart at all. You feel
No
me? So
worries.
that's my apologies, bro. Like it ain't
No.
anybody that knows me. I just want to talk. You feel me? Because I want to know where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I take it back. That's not a problem. That's my apologies.
Hold on. Do me a huge favor. I gotta go answer something right quick. I got an elderly family member. I take care of this. Calling right quick. So
Yeah,
can you I'm gonna pause, mute my mic. And can you so now that it's just a general conversation, right? And I'm just asking you to fill air for me right quick. Can you explain the beef with general Islam, not the Quran or whatever, just general Islam real quick? And I'll be back in like a minute. Give me 2 seconds.
yeah. I got you. So yeah, my beef with general Islam is that it is. I believe that Muhammad makes claims. He has errors. And there's errors in the Quran. There's beliefs that are not true about Christianity in the Quran that he speaks about, and I believe it's because he's not educated. He wasn't an educated man. I believe that Islam makes false claims. That is, um, the book of the Quran was what do they call it? A miracle. But we have proof that over time the Quran was also changed. It was a lot of things. To me, it's not right about Islam. It cannot fit with Christianity. So that's my main beef. But the biggest thing is claiming that Muhammad was a prophet, in specifically the last prophet that the Bible claimed to send. That's my biggest problem with Islam. Right? That's a blasphemous claim that no man can take.
Appreciate you for filling the time for me, brother man. First and foremost, I think you're gonna find we actually agree more than we disagree on this stuff, right? So I'm someone who actually debates Muslims on a lot of these topics that you just brought up. So, for instance, I don't know if I heard all of them. So if I missed one, let me know. Okay. Um, I believe the last one you just mentioned was like Muhammad being the last and final prophet in the Quran. Like whether you consider Muhammad a prophet or not, I'd take no issue with that. You can reject his prophet, like him being a prophet. I don't care about that. Right? Doesn't bother me at all. Right. However, like when Muslims talk about he's the last and final messenger, that's not what the Quran says. The Quran says Wahatim al-Nabiyyin. He's the seal of the prophets. It's a noun, not a verb. If you want to say he's the last of the prophets, you have to say wa akhir al-Nabiyyin. And it doesn't say that anywhere in the Quran, Hadith, which I reject 100%, or in any Islamic tradition or whatnot. Right? I've literally debated Muslims on this topic, and they lose every time.
Yeah. So you say he the seal is what you saying?
Yeah, like the authentication and whatnot. It doesn't mean he's the last one. In fact, the Quran kind of makes the opposite claim. Like in Surah 5, there's a conversation between Jesus and Allah on the day of judgment and whatnot, right? And so I make the argument that even in the Bible, Jesus is the last and final messenger. I mean, even in the Quran, the Jesus is the last and final messenger.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So okay. And then what about not to like the main? Let's get to the main thing, right? So what do you believe about Christ?
Yeah, let's get to it. So for instance, there's a lot of Muslims who right off rip, because now we're just an open conversation. So this is why I don't believe that the Quran is antichrist, like via the biblical definition, right? Because it doesn't deny Christ, i.e. the Messiah. And this is where I hold a minority position, but I would, like I said, I would debate this and put my rent check on it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The way I read the Quran, it does affirm Jesus as the Son of God. So, like in Surah 4, Ayat 171, there's a whole listing of things where he breaks down him being the Spirit from God, the Word from God, etc., the Messiah, all that type of stuff. And there's literally a part that says Subhanallah, or glory be to God, that he should have a son in Arabic. And in English translation, it says that he should not have a son. But there's multiple places where like you can point to the actual sonship in the Quran, or in the Arabic or whatnot. And like you're saying, right? And like you're saying, we're in an age of what scholars would call textual criticism that the Quran's never been in before. Most Muslims don't. They just assume that the Quran has only been written once and it's been written one way and it's the same all around the world. Blah, blah, blah. No, like you rightfully said, like, nah, we're seeing that there's different traditions out here, right? And so now we have like the same textual criticism tradition that needs to be applied from Christianity to the Quran and whatnot, right? But on top of that, the textual criticism within the Quran stipulates that. So most Muslims use the Hadith to help them fill in their understanding with the Quran and whatnot, right? The Hadith are a tradition of oral statements that are attributed to the Prophet and his companions and whatnot, that are basically like a game of telephone over time. You know what I'm saying? You can't be sure if someone actually ever said that or not, right? However, the Quran stipulates you actually cannot use those kinds of materials to substantiate the Quran. It actually gives a prophecy against that. It says that there'll be people who use it one day who use baseless hadith to lead people away from the path of God as an amusement or whatnot. And it stipulates that only the verses of God are his hadith. And it stipulates 3 times to the reader of the Quran that if you're in doubt as to what's coming down to you, or if you don't know or don't understand this, then go to the people of the previous scripture or the previous reminder. So via the rules of the Quran itself, I can't go to the hadith for things to make sense if I have a question. I have to go to the Bible for it to make that and see what the Bible says about it to get the understanding of that. That's where me and most Muslims differ on where we come to our conclusions and whatnot. Go ahead.
Got you. Okay, so you believe that Christ is? Do you believe he's equal to the Father?
No.
Okay. Do you believe that Christ was created?
So you're talking about physical Christ, pre-incarnate Christ? What are you talking about here? So because obviously I believe the body's created, right?
Yeah, of course, the body. But do you believe that Christ had an origin? Did he have an origin?
Did he have an origin?
Yeah.
So yeah, in the sense that he comes from the Father.
Can you repeat that one more time?
So yeah, in the sense that he comes from the Father, right? Like the way I think about it, so in the terms of like the what's the easiest way to say this? What's okay, like this. So you know how like the Bible talks about God's breath make God's breath in us making us a living soul or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So is God's breath, does it have an origin?
No. No.
But it comes from the Father, right?
Yeah.
See how that's right. So
Okay. So but did it?
that's where it can get muddy for a lot of people, right?
Okay.
So I'm someone who reads John 1, right?
Mhm.
And so I don't see, when I read that one, and again, I don't have any issue with people disagreeing with me on this and none of that type of stuff, right? When I read the text, I see Jesus existing as the Logos, right? So again, I don't deny that Jesus is Elohim. Like, so I definitely put deity on Jesus, right? What I don't do is I don't put him equal to the Father, like you asked me prior to, right? So I make him Elohim. I don't make him like Eloach or Elyon El, etc., right? And so,
But he
right?
said
Good.
he's equal to the Father.
That's disputable, and
Okay.
they
Okay.
literally, this is literally why we have like a. So you're familiar with like with the Council of Nicaea and whatnot, correct?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
So are you familiar with the discussion to either use homoousios or homoousios in terms to describe the either the similar or same nature of Christ, the God?
You talking about? Is that when? See, I'm not I'm not like Kobe and them. You feel me? They good with this
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, no worries.
But you talking about like what? This? I'm not sure if this was the beef with Arius or Sibelius. Right.
Arius more so.
Either way. Okay, Arius. Okay, perfect. So Arius, he got threw out the church, right? Um, and it was for a reason. You feel me? Because what he was saying is heresy, and
So
they look.
right?
Go ahead.
No, you got it. You cut out. I thought I paused. I thought you paused. Go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, I understand the debates, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's people to this day, like you got Jehovah's Witnesses, who they believe Christ existed. They just believe that he was created and that he's not on part. And proper Christianity views them as a cult, and they're not saved. You see what I'm saying? You have what we know as Apostolic Church, and I believe they're more they believe in modalism, right? And most Christians don't accept it,
Facts.
but most Christians also don't completely throw them away because they're not denying deity to Christ, and
Right.
they believe that Christ is equal to the Father. Whatever they say, modalists believe that they just believe that Christ is the Father, which is another heresy. You see what I'm saying? So, but you're saying that Christ is lower than the Father, correct?
So to be clear, when you say equal, how do you mean equal? Because when I talk to Christians, I mean it in two ways, right? So they'll either mean it equal in essence, which I find interesting, or equal in substance, which I find also to be interesting. Which way do you see it, or do you see it as both?
I believe he's equal in authority. So
I've
Christ,
never
I
heard that
believe,
one before. Break it down. I'm all ears.
I believe that Christ has the authority that the Father has, but they're one in unity. You see this, and the Holy Spirit as well, because I believe in the Trinity. I don't know if you affirm the Trinity or not. From what it sounds like you don't. But I believe that they're one an authority, like they share in that authority. Like you ever read Hebrews when you hear the Father praising the Son,
Mm-hmm.
and it says, "To you, Son, your throne is everlasting." Like the Father is praising the Son, right? And then you hear in the book of I believe it's John. We were just going over this in church, where Christ is making equative statements. And you can go back to the sermon where Pastor Mike he was preaching, where Christ he's making equative statements to the Father. He's saying things, and the Jews knew only God can make these claims. In their culture, he's making these claims, and they viewed it as blasphemous. And then when they tried to kill him, right? When they basically tell him, you being a man, make yourself equal to the Father. You're claiming to be God. So they knew what he was saying. And I believe that Christ he was blatantly saying, I am God. Right. And he has that authority. Right. Now, when he comes on earth, I believe that he set down some of that authority and became a man and submitted himself to the Father's will. You see what I'm saying?
So, because this is the first time I've heard the authority argument. Let me see if I'm hearing what you're saying correctly, and please jump in wherever I'm wrong. Okay. So they start off in so John 1:1, they're in existence together. They start off together to begin with, and they're equal in authority there. Correct?
Yeah. Do you want me to read it to you?
No, I'm just sure if that helps you out.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me go to this Bible real quick. Bible. I said 3 chapters. I got you. Okay. So let me pull up John for you. You got a specific version you read more?
I don't even care, bro. Whichever one floats your boat. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they all go back to the original manuscripts. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Let me see. John.
And while you're looking it up, just to be clear, I also do believe that the Quran affirms the death of Christ on the cross. I do believe the death, burial, resurrection, etc. So,
okay,
so
cool.
that part.
Okay, perfect. All right, I got it pulled up for you. Let me go to this. I read the CSB usually. No, I can't. I'm on my work computer.
Oh, my bad. You good.
I'm on the cell phone.
Hey,
all right,
what verse you pulling up so I can pull it up for the people right quick?
Let me see. Okay, we could read the King James.
Whatever one you want, bro. You good.
Let me see.
It's all the Bible, you heard.
All right, go to the CSB. That's my favorite version.
Okay. Share my screen right quick. You said the ESV?
No, the CSB.
CSB. There we go. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. John 1. Let's go. All right. What verse you want to get to?
So we can start at 1. It says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. It says, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Right. So I believe this statement right here in John is claiming that Christ is God. It says he was in the beginning, he was with God. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, got you.
And then he says he was in the beginning. He was with God in the beginning. All things were created through him, and apart from him, nothing was created that has been created. Right. So we see right here, this takes us back to Genesis. Right. If you jump to Genesis, let me see. Let me see how I do that.
Matter of fact, you put it right there. Hold up. Let me click the screen. Talking about this right here.
Yep. It says Genesis 1:1. It says, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Right. So this same God in Genesis 1
Mm-hmm.
is the same. It's claiming that it's Jesus. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you're saying that they had equal authority at this juncture, right? At like verse 1, like John 1:1, Genesis 1:1, right?
Yeah.
And that Jesus chose to take a lesser position, and now this is where I need help, okay? So I don't want to put words in your mouth. I just want to understand how you're saying it. And I'm not trying to debate you. I'm trying to understand the position. So when Jesus says that he was given authority, you're saying that he already had authority, but because he's in a physical stage, he had to be given authority at this juncture? If I got that right?
Yeah. Yeah. In Philippians, he said he set it down. He set that authority down when he came here.
Does he use that word authority, or does it, or I'm not?
Let me see. Let me pull it up.
But I'm just asking because, like, I find the authority argument intriguing. I haven't heard this before, so I'm just trying to make sure I get it right.
I don't know if he used the word authority outright, but I believe that's what he was getting to.
Yeah, no worries. I won't hold you to like an exact word kind of a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I believe that's what he meant, and like I said, you can correct. Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I believe he was getting at. Is that he set down authority. Okay, hold on real quick.
You good. So I have yet to hear that argument before, and I find it extremely intriguing. And I'm going to wait for the brother to come back to give my breakdown. And anybody who wants to hit the link, please feel free to hit the link. It is there for the family and whatnot. I'm going to go back here. We're going to slowly go through something with the brother. So I want to be clear on something, fam. Like, so I do not make claims like, so let's say you believe in the Trinity. I'm not putting you in hell, right? Let's say you don't believe Christ was created. I'm not putting you in hell, right? Let's say you believe Christ is equal to the Father. I'm not putting you in hell, right? Like, I don't have neither a heaven nor a hell to put you in. That ain't my job, right? But what I will do is explain why I believe what I believe, whatnot, right? Without condemning other people for it. Because I think something that gets lost in translation here is why certain people make certain arguments, and the veracity thereof, the history of them all that kind of stuff, right? And so for this, hold up, there we go. Oh, the brother must be seriously busy. Let me take that down because he already did that. Let me read some comments on for the brother to come back. Shout out to the brother. There you go.
Yeah. What you saying?
So I wanted to quickly explain my understanding and again the history of certain arguments and whatnot, right? So when in the book of John, where you were talking about where the Pharisees, it's a claim that Christ claims equality with God and whatnot, right? There's this word there, and there's this word in Philippians and whatnot too, where it's isos, where it can either mean similar or same, right? And this is where the debate comes in, because it wasn't clear when like when Christ died, etc. Like, there wasn't a universal understanding of, okay, should it mean same or should it mean similar here, right? I understand the argument that people make for same, right? I'm not putting anybody in hell for making the argument that it's same or equal, right? The reason why I believe that isos in this particular term, in this particular instance, is similar and not the same, is for the claim, one, for the claims that he's making, and two, for the verses that he goes through to back up those claims, right? So for instance, he stipulates that matter of fact, let me just go there. Well, nah. Let me start here and then work back to that one, right? So where you're saying that they're together and they're equal in John 1:1 or whatnot, right? The reason why
Yeah,
I don't read it that exact way is because where it says here again that again I agree with you where it talks about the logos being deity here, where it talks about it being theos or whatnot, right? So I don't argue against that. I agree with that 100%. I agree that Christ and logos here is definitely theos. The question for me is what level of theos is it, right? Because theos isn't just a universal term; it's used multiple different ways or whatnot, right? Um, and so if I roll down or whatnot, so we agree that like in the beginning was the word, and the word was Elohim, and the word was God with God. My question is, how was he with? Right? I don't know how it says it in this version, so let me see. Let me type on the screen right quick. Yeah, let me do it in the KJV so I can make this super quick real fast. So I can make this super quick real fast. Why am I doing coming up? Okay, but it says here that he was within the bosom of the Father. Hold on, let me find this joint. There we go. No man has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. And so for me, when I read that, right, in full context, I'm reading in the beginning, like again, the Logos was in the bosom of the Father, right? So most Christians read this as like a side by side thing, right? I believe this is. I read this and I see God and I see the Logos with like so. Logos is like a plan. It's like a thought. It's like a whole. It's an organization of sorts, right? It's almost like the mind of God in a sense, right? The plan of God or whatnot. So from again, to me, that's not something that exists outside of God before it comes from God, right? So I think there's multiple ways this text can get read, and you may very well you might very well be right on this, right? This is something that I consider to be a secondary concept or whatnot, and not necessarily a primary concept, right? I think good people can disagree on this or whatnot.
yeah. So my thing is right. My bad. It's loud where I'm at, but
Yep.
my I don't believe it's secondary.
Okay.
I believe why the church split on it and they kicked areas out is because they I don't believe they believed it was secondary. I believe that the early church knew that it was such an important issue at the time. That's why they was making claims at the time that this is God. I don't believe that. I do not believe that this is a as simple as okay, he's in the bosom. This is no. I think you got to add everything up because in the prophecies in Isaiah, right? He said that he would be called certain things. He would be God on earth, right? And I understand people make many arguments for Christ. I don't know. And correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying Christ is a lower God than the Heavenly Father. Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
So I'm saying so Elohim can be a plural form, right?
Yeah.
And I definitely think that Elohim can apply to Jesus 100% and make sense with the text and whatnot, right? For
Yeah.
me, applying the full like making him theos makes sense to me. Making him theon. So, for instance, like when they pick up stones to stone him, what he said was he was the son of God, right?
Yeah.
And so they said, oh, and so for claiming to be God's son, they're claiming that he's either similar or the same, right? That word
Mhm.
"esos" has that it can either mean similar or same. And the whole beef about the Council of Nicaea is, well, what does this like? Not the whole beef, but a portion of it. Was what does this word here mean? How do we translate this word here? And then what the church did was they came up with a whole new word, right? To specify what we believe is that it means same here, right? And I'm going to put down one of the reasons why I take it as a secondary concept is like this is something that the church was not in agreement on. They were literally like there was like you had Unitarians, you had modalists, you had Benitarians, Trinitarians, all this. You had Arianists and whatnot. You had semi-Arianists and whatnot. This is one of the many things that there was not universal understanding on. And in fact, one of the arguments was if you just say similar at the council, it unites the entirety of the Christian world or whatnot. The whole world would have joined on similar. There was beef on sameness or whatnot, right? So I don't agree with you that at a certain point in time, sameness became orthodoxy amongst the majority of Christendom. I don't disagree with that in any way, shape, or form. What I would stipulate before that is like there was debates on all sides, and so what most people can tell me is it was deemed heresy, right? What most people I run into can't tell me is why was it deemed heresy? What were the arguments? Was Arius even there to make his case?
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with
you. Jump on, boo. Oh, let me drop the link again.
Yeah. And let me say this before Boo John, because he's Catholic, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And see, I believe that Catholics, they got some of the strongest arguments I've never seen. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So he's better off to kind of have this conversation with you, and I've heard him. It's to me, it's too strong. But for me personally, right, I do not know the complete. I haven't read the transcript. I haven't read all of it. All I know is that the church views it as heresy, right? And to deny such a thing is to go outside of the Orthodox view. And I believe that very issue can cost your salvation. That issue, to view God or Jesus as just a lower whatever, I believe that alone is enough to do it for you.
I don't want to merge you. I want to make sure I understand this correct. So correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So if I believe Jesus is subservient to the Father, I can lose my salvation.
No, I'm not saying that, because I believe that Jesus submits himself to the Father willingly, right? But I'm saying that if you believe that Christ is not equal to the Father, I believe that is. And if you believe that he's just a lower God than him, I believe that's problematic, and that is salvific. That's not a secondary issue. I believe that's a primary issue, which is, the bigger reason why I believe a lot of Muslims are, they're in trouble. Outside
before there was anybody who ever believed Islam on the planet, like this was an issue for the church, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And so can we agree that there were sincere people on both sides, at least?
No, yeah. I'm not saying that people aren't sincere in their arguments. Yeah, I mean, you can be sincerely wrong, though.
Right, exactly. Agreed. Right.
But people are sincere, and that's why I really wanted to have a conversation. I believe that you're sincere. I just believe that it's wrong. You feel me?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and jump on him and ask you off-topic questions, bro. That's cool. I'm reading the chat, my fault.
What you say? Boo jumping on?
He was afraid of taking the conversation in a whole other direction. Oh, Boo, you go and jump on, ask whatever you want. You know what it is, man.
Oh yeah, Boo, he can jump on. Y'all gotta have a conversation. I got to get back to work anyway.
But you just said something that was extremely interesting to me, which was you believe it to be a primary issue in that, right? And so this is where I humbly ask all my Christian brethren, okay, can you show me these list of primary issues from the text itself?
So are you saying? Give me 1 second.
I'm saying as I read it, I don't see it as a primary issue in the text. That's all. And so I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I haven't seen that reading yet, and so I would love to be shown the readings. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
shout out to Abu. You know what I'm saying? What you got? What you got for us, brother man?
Well, let me wait till I know the gentleman said Roger said he has to get back to work, so let you finish with that because it's way off topic. But I got something that you'll really enjoy.
No worries. Go ahead, Roger. You got it.
yeah. And before you hop into it, Abu, let me ask you this, right? As a Catholic, is is what I'm saying crazy? Am I? Do you think I'm off in my thinking?
I mean, it depends on what precisely you're referring to. Like, keep in mind, I'm at work, so I might have missed a lot, but it seems like you guys covered a few different things. I definitely think there's huge differences between Orthodox Christianity and Orthodox Islam, but how they treat their texts are a different issue. But as far as interpreting the Bible along the lines of a Trinitarian view, a mainstream Trinitarian view, of course, I'm going to lean that way, but I do so through the church. That's all I'd say on that.
Yeah, I got
And
you.
I have
got you.
no issue with that concept, Abu. Just so we understand each other.
Yeah. So.
And Roger, to answer your
the
question,
text though.
I didn't answer real quick, Roger. I forgot to answer your question earlier. I'm not a Trinitarian, but I do believe God is triune. So that's a complex conversation we could probably have at another time or after this part here. But I forgot to mention.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. For real. Yeah, we could. And if you can add me on Facebook, we can have these conversations, bro. You know what I'm saying? To me, it ain't. I ain't labeling you as a demon or anything like that. I just want to talk to you. But I don't think that you need to embrace the term Trinity to be saved. Right? I just believe that is his nature.
Okay.
You feel?
Oh, fact.
So,
appreciate you. That's what's up.
So a person don't have to walk around and claim, "Hey, I'm a Trinitarian," but I don't think you can deny it either. Hey, if you walk around and say, "Yeah, Trinity ain't true," that's different. Then you say, "Well, I don't refer to it, but I believe God's nature is triune." Now, to me, it's the same thing. You know, if you call an apple an orange, that doesn't change the nature of an apple.
Right.
The apple is still apple. You see what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna let y'all have a conversation. I appreciate the dialogue with you, bro. So
appreciate
if you can add me on Facebook.
Not a lot of people do that, you know what I'm saying? I got respect for that, 100%.
Hey man, I got respect for you taking the time to talk to me, man.
Hey, thank you for trying to save my soul, brother, man. I appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right, peace. You have a good one, man.
All right.
Oh, so, I'm gonna see you.
I do. Thank you. Will you tolerate a way off topic comment?
I will tolerate whatever you want to talk about.
I think you're gonna like this. So I just sent you a bunch of images. Let me see if I can share my screen. Hold on, bear with me 1 second. Let's see if I can share screen.
I'm horrible at checking Facebook.
Let's see. Shared. Okay, man, I got so much up here. Let's see. Let's see if I can find this Facebook. Oh, looks like I can. Hold on. Is this it? Oh, looks like I can share it. Dang. All right.
Yep, it's coming up right now.
So what do you see? Let me hold on. Let me peek at let me look on my phone to see what it looks like. You see a bunch of Hebrew text.
Yes, sir. With the blue and the red squares.
And that's all it's showing, right? All right, good.
Yes, sir.
All right, hold on. Bear with me 1 second. I just want to make 100%. Yep. Okay, that's beautiful. All right, I'm gonna share this really quickly because I only got a few minutes. All right, so I want to run through a few. Let me just make sure just clicking through will show everything. Oh, perfect. Okay, so first, this is the Vatican's copy of the Taj. By the way, let me tell you what my motivations here are. Real quick, as you know, I like to get into when I get into the pews, I like to get into multiple thought experiments, and I like to get into views which may work against a position I've taken, work for a position I've taken. Like I try to look at all angles. I don't try to hide anything, right?
Which is why I have the utmost respect for you.
So I got something that you're gonna like. So I'm gonna show just a few images. So with that in mind, I know you've been promoting the idea that what if what looks like 3 dots or something like that, or 3 sort of apostrophes. What if that's this shorthand tetragrammaton, that shorthand version of the tetragrammaton that's used in certain rabbinic literature? In some places, like on Kelos, it's usually a double yod, but in some places, it's a triple yod. So what I would say to that is, well, it still needs to make sense in larger context. So I came up with a thought experiment where it can make sense. So let's lay this out. So first on this screen, this is the Vatican's. So, oh, by the way, this will go towards your thing about a trade language or combining Arabic and Hebrew at the same time. I found a coherent thought experiment. So first piece of evidence, this is from the Vatican Library's copy of the Taj, which, as you know, is that trilingual edition of the Torah. What I got highlighted in red is that triple yod. They did it in an ornate way where they put one over the other 2, but nonetheless, this is the triple yod. And by the way, this is the Shema that's up at the top. Then marked in blue is the word Allah. written in Hebrew characters, right? So that's point one, right? And I'm going to tie this all together. So, but so far what we got is on the same page, the Vatican Library's copy of the Taj, we have the triple yod to refer to the Tetragrammaton, and then we have Allah appearing on the same page. Okay, so, sorry, bear with me. Close that up. So, next image, you can see this?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. So this is from, as you know, the Vatican has a copy of the Quran that's written. It's from the Middle Ages, written in the
Oh, you didn't, Abu.
in
Okay.
Hebrew. So check this out. Now this one, this is from Surah At-Tawbah. They have the basmala, but it switches scripts in mid-sentence. So at the bottom there, underlined in red, it says Bismillah ar-Rahman. And then that's in Hebrew character. That's basically in Solitreo. And then in the fourth word, it abruptly switches to the Arabic text, right? So, okay. So we got that. So we've seen this. So now let me show you this email. This is from Conrad Dali, right? Since some people, I'm not a big fan of appealing to guys who made tentative suggestions, but nonetheless, since others want to, appeal to people who made tentative suggestions like David Bunis and others, I noticed something that we never really discussed with Conrad Dali. Like I've always treated Conrad Dali's email as, basically saying I don't see Arabic there, right? But the thing is, if we can treat tentative proposals, very tentative proposals, then it takes on a different shape. So Conrad Dali, in the email that he wrote, he said, and this is referring to that main pew, he wrote that one double belly could be the name of God, right? Allah. Okay, so with that in mind, here's my summary. I don't know if you can see my summary here. Point one, and I threw this together quickly, so there's a little typo in the third point. But point one, we have examples of Jews using the triple yod, that triple yod stand-in for the Tetragrammaton, on the same page as where they're using the word Allah. Point two, we have examples of Jews abruptly switching from the Hebrew script to the Arabic script, right? And then point three, one scholar tentatively proposed that this says left side, I should say right side. The right side of the relevant pew might have the word Allah there. So with that, here's a new proposal for you that I thought you would like, because those three lines on this pew have never been interpreted. So since you like the idea, this is tentative, but just a thought experiment that I thought you would like. In the green, you have the triple yod, stand in for the Tetragrammaton. In the blue, you have what Conrad Dali, or John Dali, I think actually the C in his name is pronounced like an English J, John Dali's proposal, that it's Allah, and then the rest is what was proposed by three scholars, Ilahi Nas. And so the interpretation as a whole would be, now when they use that triple yod, they usually pronounce it Adonai, maybe Hashem, but this would be Adonai, Allah, Ilahi Nas. So it'd be like Yah, Allah, the God of humanity. Just wanted to throw that at you. It's a very lighthearted thought experiment, but I thought you would like this as we continue to explore all angles. And I'll get your thoughts before I jump off and head back to work.
So for me, I actually think this is more plausible than what's typically proposed for where the yods are. Like on the character, like on the pews that it says like la ilaha illallah and whatnot. I think this is more plausible in the sense to where, like, I think if there's going to be any Hebrew on the pews, it's going to be more of like in a Judeo-Arabic kind of a way, in a sense to where I think it's going to be like you're very familiar with the Sufi writings from West Africa, where you see these lines on stuff all the time or whatnot, right? But nobody really knows what it means. I think this is a case where, like, it's most likely you're going to see it like this, or maybe like how you were talking about, like in front of something or whatnot, but more so like this than how it's been proposed on other pews or whatnot. So I think this is more plausible than like so. For instance, like on the pew where you're saying that it possibly says like more so Rasail or Rasul versus like the yods or whatnot. I think that's completely plausible or whatnot, or even more plausible in that situation, right? Because even if I put the hot, like you're saying, like make it make sense. So if I have it be like Arabic, Hebrew, and Ge'ez on that one pew, like ha sa ya la ilaha illallah, it doesn't make a whole bunch of sense, right? But this could make a lot, like something like this can make a lot of sense, or like because again, you're putting like the three yods over God or whatnot, right? Just the simple word for God or whatnot. To me, I could definitely see something like that in like in a Judeo-Arabic kind of a way, right? Or in a cryptic Jewish kind of way, in that kind of sense, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I love the thought experiment.
I thought you'd like this. I figured you could clip it up and save it. I've wanted to unveil this here first, just as a thought experiment. Of course,
I got to ask you Faithful's question, Abu. So when are you gonna admit that there's Arabic on the pew, dude?
I'm still skeptical. Yeah, for those who don't know, Faithful's been convinced that there's Arabic on the pew. I don't think he'll like this thought experiment, but nonetheless, I found something where the 3 yods can work. Because for me, invoking the 2 or 3 yods, it has to have a context,
right?
You know, but this is a fun one, you know, and I figured that summary makes it plausible. Also, another place where this works is so interpreting that part on the right as a law rather than anas. One of the big problems with anas is that while it does clearly look like a scene, the problem with it is the trying to squeeze the aleph, lamed, nun, aleph into the right of that apparent scene is where it really gets shaky. It's possible, but it's so shaky.
Agreed.
This works a little bit better, maybe. And like I said, it has at least one scholar who tentatively proposed it, you know, since some of our friends out there. And the other thing is also, this is to show, you know, I think people should show everything on both sides of the side. You know, as we know, there's certain gentlemen out there who, you know, they got a whole catalog of images, or at least they claim to, and they're holding it back, and they're receiving email exchanges with scholars and holding back, you know, the stuff they don't like. And it's a mess. I think everybody should show everything, show all your cards. And so this is an example of that. I had this thought, why not show it? And I figured it was a thought that would make you smile.
Yeah, no, and again, for me, like to be clear, like I personally still think it is more likely to be like Surah 114 ayah 3 with that part there. And I don't think it necessarily like, to me, it looks more like it doesn't look like a law right there for me, right?
Oh, I agree.
Like I said, on other parts of other pews, like I would tell like anonymous, like, no, a blind Muslim can see a law right there, but I don't see that one here, right? But again, those 3 yods over, or those 3 markings, potential yods over God, I'm like, I look at that, I'm like, huh.
Adonai Elohinas, right? You know, Yah, the God of humanity.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting. It's interesting. And then that's why I gave you the precedent, though, you know, with the Vatican Taj and the Vatican Solitreo Quran. You know, I figured it all fits together in an interesting way at the very least.
So did you? So if the We Woke Now and Benign Peoples is watching, did you just make a case for potential Hebrew on the pews, Monty?
Yes, I did. Well, I've always, you know,
no,
it's
you can't.
yeah.
You about to get your Jesuit check cut off. What are you doing?
And yeah, I know, right? That's the belief, right? That the order prevents us from going that route. But oh well. Just a thought experiment. All my thought experiments are just that, you know. But I figured you'd find this interesting, you know.
No, I appreciate that 100%, and I also appreciated your video from this morning and whatnot, or about Professor Salhi and whatnot. I hadn't caught that before. I was like,
also, you know, that inspired this in a sense, because check this out. While that doesn't really look like a law in general on the right there, it does sort of look like when that sign in Morocco. I guess I'd have to send it to you to pull it up, but that sign in Morocco where it says at the top that Yusuf Salhi was explaining, where it says at the top, Alhamdulillah, the lillah, that lam ha, it's an open ha, and it does sort of look like what's here in the blue, you know. You know, maybe maybe I can put it together right now, if I could just find it. I don't know if you got 30 seconds. Let's see.
Oh, I got all the time in the world.
Let's see. All right, let's see. I could probably put it together really quickly. Yeah, I can do this really quick. Let's see. Bear with me right here. I just got to grab it, and you tell me if this looks similar. All right, so here it is. I'm just gonna grab the lila part. Here we go. Edit, copy. Where's my little painting here? Control. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna put it right above this, and then I'm gonna send it to you. Here we go. Let's see if I can send this to you. What happens? Almost there, like 30 seconds away.
No, you good.
Yeah, let's play some music here. All right, let's see. So it's trying to load up the message here. All right, here we go. All right, I just sent it to you. Now let me see if I can share it from my screen. Hold on one second. Boom, boom.
Oh, interesting.
There we go. All right, let's see if it hasn't come up yet on my side.
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right, there it is. Yes. Okay, so yeah, when you look at it like that, they do kind of look alike, because that at the top is clearly lam ha, and it's an open ha. That's another thing. This is a West African witness to an open ha, which is very central to all of these interpretations, these Arabic interpretations, where it's la ilaha illallah, ilah, and ilahi nas. It's always proposing an open ha. So this is a West African witness to an open ha. But more importantly, it does look like this. What, you know, Janar Dali, the scholar Janar Dali, who, by the way, for those who don't know, is a Quranic translator. He worked on the study Quran. Had proposed tentatively, very tentatively, hesitantly, that this bottom on the blue could be Allah. So there is a similarity there, you know, when you look at it like that. I don't know if you see a little bit more of a similarity.
Yeah, no, the moment I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, I can definitely see that. Because and if I run that through like if like again the like the Sylvian Diouf like concept like sloppy Arabic showing up or whatnot, I'm like, okay, that I can't rule that out. And again, this is why we need those pews catalog, family.
It's a huge.
Go ahead, you got it.
No, I was agreeing with you. Go ahead, you say that because I've already said it. We definitely need everything cataloged, you know, and public.
Yes, 100%. I'm going to re-show your video on my channel about that one because I don't think that people understand that there's people out there making the claims that they have all the pictures of all the pews or whatnot, but they're not willing to show the people or whatnot. And that's just, if this is something that's important to you, like if you're a quote unquote Hebrew Israelite, etc., or you believe that Jews came off the slave ship or whatnot, and somebody has pictures of all these pews and they're claiming that there's Hebrew on the pews, but they're not showing them to you, like, you got to ask yourself, why is that? Why is that conversation being stifled or whatnot, right? And it seems that like whenever markings are shown or whatnot, it's easier to link them to Arabic versus what the claim of like Sulatreo is or whatnot. But just to be clear, Abu just came on and made an argument where you can have both on the same pews or whatnot, right? And this is what I was trying to say from the very beginning of this whole thing, is it's not cut and dry. And what me and Abu have always agreed on is you got to take each pew case by case on this thing, right? And again, put all your cards on the table and whatnot. So I 100% appreciate Abu for putting this together and whatnot, because this illustrates even better than what I've been saying, what I was trying to say.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm glad I could be of assistance. I'm looking forward to you sharing the video. On that note, I got to get back to work. Thanks for letting me throw this on real quick.
You got it, fam. Peace and blessings.
God bless.
You got it. So with that, family, I'm definitely going to jump off. I got some other stuff I got to get into, but I appreciate the brother for coming on, Brother Sherman for coming on, having this conversation with me, having that dialogue and getting through it the way we did, keeping it peaceful and respectful and whatnot. 100% always appreciate Abu coming through, dropping his knowledge and science and whatnot. And with that, family, I say peace and love.